I wrote, I'm famous because it's cool that I had a collision with a celebrity. Was that your thinking at the time? And you said yes. Do you deny it?
Not if you have it on record, no. I don't deny it. I don't remember it. But
well, let's go to page 15. Can you bring that up? Move to publish the deposition.
Your Honor, he said he doesn't deny it, so why are we publishing?
Because he earlier denied it.
I'll overrule the objection and permit that portion of the deposition to be published.
May I ask when this happened?
Sure. Like 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, you told this jury, I've never thought it was cool that I had a collision with a celebrity. Do you recall that?
Yes, I guess I did say that, absolutely.
And that's not a true statement, is it? You have said this in your deposition, true?
Honestly, I don't ever remember saying it.
Bring it up whenever you
but
can.
I don't doubt you. I misspeak a lot.
Okay, this is page 15, line 5 through 8. So the words, I'm famous, this is my question, seem to say, I think it's cool that I had a collision with a celebrity. Was that your thinking at the time? And your answer was yes, I guess, yes. Now let's go to your weight. You testified today that you were 163 and 5'5", true?
Yes, I did.
And do you agree that at your deposition you told me you were 175 to 180 and 5'8"? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Qualified, yes.
No, I don't want to qualify.
I can't
Did you
answer
tell
this.
me that? Like
do
I
you
said, how much do you weigh? And you said 175 to 80. How much did you weigh? And then you said 5'8". How high are you? How tall are you? 3 inches different, right?
I just found that out. I didn't realize. I've had
Sir,
people telling me that.
You
honestly.
told this jury that at the time of the accident you were 163 and 5'5". Did you not, like 2 hours ago?
I did, yes. Yes.
But you told me in your deposition years ago that you were 170 to 180 and 5'8". True?
How many years ago did we do this?
3 years ago.
I've lost a lot of weight. I'm down to my usual weight.
You know we're interested not now in your weight today. We're interested in your weight on the day.
Thank you. I knew where that was
Do you
going.
agree you were 5'8"?
Yes.
Have you shrunk 3 inches?
I couldn't believe it either. I wanted to argue because I think I'm 5'8" yet.
You do have degenerative back disease, and those discs are getting squeezed. Is that why?
I have to say yes. I've always been 5'8.5", and I knew I shrunk a half an inch, but 3, wow.
Mr. Sanderson, we're trying, in counsel, let's not speak on top of one another so that we have a clear, clean record.
You're right. Yes, Your Honor.
When we talked about you being unconscious, and do you agree that someone who's unconscious doesn't have a stopwatch to figure out how long they were actually unconscious?
I agree. That's true.
Everything you've learned was from Craig after the collision.
No.
Yeah, that's over vague, and I'll withdraw it because I agree that's
Not everything. It's not everything. Sorry.
Right. As far as level of length of unconsciousness, do you agree that you weren't stopwatching yourself?
I have no idea.
Yeah. And yet you did tell people it varied over time. First a few seconds, then 5 minutes, then 10 minutes. You did that, right? Do you disagree?
Yes, it did vary.
And why did you do that? Why would you say, I don't know, then it's a few seconds, then it's 5 minutes, and then you told your psychiatrist at the VA it was up to 10 minutes long? Why did you change?
I had no idea, and I was searching. I really had no idea, and I was trying to answer. I sometimes make that mistake of guessing, but I really didn't know.
And it was to try to get the attention of the doctor. Do you remember telling me that?
I don't. I don't know how to.
Let's find it.
What's the date?
Let's go to page 95.
Which deposition, 1, 2, or 3?
One, they're all cumulative, so the page will tell you that. Page 95, starting at line 7. When you first tell your healthcare providers a few seconds, and then later it turned into 5 minutes, and then later it turned into 10 minutes, do you know that you gave varying answers to people? And then whenever you can pull it up, page 95.
Yes.
The witness says, and then can we go to the middle paragraph? Yes, I do. And that was referencing the fact I personally did not know. I was not a witness to how long I was unconscious. And so somebody told me it was 2 seconds, and somebody said it was 10 seconds, 10 minutes. And so I didn't know. It was hard for me to say. And then, next paragraph, it depends on my visit. If I want to make a deal out of it, and that was the reason for my visit, then I might say for 10 minutes. I might pick the worst. That's kind of how we are. We go to the doctor's attention. We go to get the doctor's attention about a specific thing. And it wasn't at that point how long I was unconscious was not a point of relevance for me. That's your testimony, correct?
I'm even confused by those statements, so,
Yes or no?
yes, it is.
By the way, when we took your deposition, there's a lot of formality to it. Too, you're placed under oath just like the one you were put on today.
Yeah.
And your counsel's present, and you were able to talk to them before. Yes?
And I think I had,
Yes.
11 hours or so of deposition?
I can't really hear you, sir, but my question is, you had your advice of your counsel there.
Yes.
And I asked at the beginning of the deposition, is there any reason why you can't give me your best testimony today? And you said no, correct?
Yes.
And I even told you, I think, that if you testified differently at your deposition than you would in front of this jury, I would call it to their attention. Do you recall this?
Yes.
And you took an oath, and you then had the opportunity to make any changes to your deposition transcript. Is that true?
Yes.
And did you?
No, I don't remember making any changes. I think I made 2 with you. I said 2 corrections and that I remembered.
Okay. You
And
didn't.
you
You
took
didn't
them.
make some, and counsel told you let's not submit those.
I haven't looked at these depositions at all. Not at all.
Do you dispute that? Well, I heard you call Eric Christensen, a Deer Valley instructor for 40 years, a bully. Did you say that?
I did say that, yes.
And that he was yelling at your face.
Yes. I figured out. I
And
didn't
we'll-
actually know that until.
And we'll meet him at 1 o'clock. Deer Valley's known, or at least puts itself out there, doesn't it, as like the most customer friendly they could possibly be. Do you agree?
I agree.
Were your skis on or off at the end of the collision? Do you know?
Absolutely, they were on.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you do remember some things after.
Yes.
Okay. And Craig, by the way, you said you weren't here for your daughters, but you haven't been here for several statements, right?
Several, yes.
It was more than just like, I don't want to make my daughters uncomfortable. You haven't been here for many.
I didn't.
Yeah. And Sam Goldstein said part of the reason is you don't take criticism well. Do you agree with that statement?
I always want to be a better person, and I even tell my kids, if I'm doing something wrong, tell me. I want to be better.
All right, so do you agree or disagree with this statement? Mr. Sanderson does not take criticism well.
Hard for me to measure that. I've not been around other humans as much as I have been in the past. So it's hard for me to measure that. Honestly, I don't.
Do you agree that when Whitney came with the toboggan, she asked you what happened, and you said, "I don't know"? Do you agree with that statement?
If that's on the record, I don't disagree with it. I don't remember that particular part of our interaction. I just remember she said something to me, and
It's the first question, right? Ski patroller comes up. By the way, you've hurt yourself before skiing, true?
never needing help, right?
Before this
Yeah.
incident, though, you injured your knee.
I had when I first learned to ski that first year.
All right.
Beaver.
So you don't dispute that the first thing Whitney asked you is like, "How are you?" And what happened? Do you agree those are like the first two questions?
I have no recollection of those questions. I don't. I would think she would reach out to me, but I don't.
Did you ever complain to Deer Valley about Eric Christensen, like I was treated like a bully?
I had a lot of time to think about it.
Yes or no?
I don't know if I did. I think when I contacted Deer Valley, I was just after I wanted to find out who hit me, and I wanted to copy the records, and I didn't bring it up.
Yeah, you never once wrote to Deer Valley like, "Hey, your ski instructor is a total SOB to me. He treated me poorly."
That's correct. I didn't bring it up because I did not want to cause some anger from them. I wanted to copy and find out who hit me.
But 7 years later, you're here saying he was terrible to me, just terrible. Craig Ramon said words to the effect that Christensen said to Ramon, "Your buddy took out Gwyneth Paltrow." Did you hear those words?
I did.
You personally heard them with your... So now I want to be clear because I'm not trying to confuse you. Did you hear them when you were on the ski slope? Okay. And Ramon did not do anything to try to set the record straight at that point. Do you know anything about that?
About who hit me?
Correct.
When we got down into the
At that
medical
point
care.
was my question. On the mountain.
Yeah, on the mountain, but in the shed. I was.
Okay. You said your skis were on after the collision. Do you recall your head being downhill or uphill?
Absolutely downhill. I was going down, and absolutely.
So several witnesses say the opposite, and you disagree?
Not true. I disagree absolutely because I couldn't get up.
And where was Gwyneth's head when she came to arrest? Head down, head up?
I have no idea. As far as I know, she didn't exist.
Because you didn't see anything?
I was out. I had no idea. Everything else is what I heard.
Did you tell Eric Christensen, according to his report, that she appeared right in front of me? Yes or no?
No.
So he just
Never.
made that up?
Must have.
Deer Valley just falsified a record. Is that your opinion?
I never would have said that. I knew where it came from.
You know you sued Deer Valley in this claim, true?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance?
Sustained.
And we're not dealing with any of that today. True? We're not dealing with this.
Objection, relevance, move to strike.
Sustained. The question is stricken and the jury should disregard.
So, Your Honor, I just want to be able to ask if you're willing, is you're not suing Deer Valley today?
Your Honor, objection, third objection now, move to strike again.
Sustained, stricken,
Okay.
disregard, please.
I hear you saying you were flying through the air after she hit you. Did you say those words? Yes
Today?
Or, yes or no?
Today?
Today.
Today I did.
With regard to relationships prior. You had 2 divorces, true?
I did, yes.
And then, was it about 10 years of just dating various different other women?
I guess I wouldn't know exactly. Wouldn't be unreasonable, maybe.
Well, I'm just saying if the incident occurred in 2016, when was your second divorce? About 10 years
30
earlier?
years ago. I'm thinking 30 years ago, I'm thinking.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, it's nice that Carlene, you had found a nice partner, but you were not engaged. Is that true?
We were not.
And
That's
she
what we
was
had.
actually living hundreds of miles away from you?
We went back and forth. It's 3 hours, 4 hours maybe, the most.
A couple hundred miles, I think, isn't it?
I don't know.
St. George. We'll move on.
Thank you.
Do you recall saying that you agreed that saying I'm famous was a crazy thing to say? Agree?
Absolutely, it's not me. I don't buy into that.
But it was you, right? Just to be
Right.
clear. When you say it wasn't me, it was in fact you.
It's the other personality that's inhabiting my body right now.
And you blame Gwyneth Paltrow for that.
Yes, no question.
Do you recall having a kind of a stroke event like 10 years or so before the incident?
Yeah, but that diagnosis has been changed.
But it's an ischemic retinal occlusion,
Probably due to a migraine.
and you lost your right eye in that.
I lost some vision in that eye, yes.
And that was one of the reasons you retired.
One of many. Mhm.
Yeah. In terms of your anger, do you agree you sought therapy for anger management about 10 years ago?
I don't.
Or 15 years ago? I guess 06, about the time of your second divorce. Because if you
I don't
deny it, we're going
remember.
to pull it up.
I don't remember that purpose, but yes, okay. Was I seeing a shrink or?
So you can't
I don't
ask
know.
me questions, unfortunately.
Sorry, thank you.
All I'm trying to have you say yes or no, and then we go to documents if we need to. So do you agree that you were seeing a therapist at the VA for anger management about 10 years even before the incident?
I honestly don't remember it, but if you say so, I believe you.
Yeah, I can't testify. So if you
I don't.
dispute it, then we go to the record.
I don't
And
look at these records. I haven't 5,000 pages.
So you don't dispute it?
I don't.
Okay. And did you tell Shay that there was a GoPro recording?
Absolutely not.